Good morning. Good morning. Miss Kim here, joining you from a cloudy city, Gaborone. That's right in Botswana. And what a beautiful thing to look at these little children. These are some of the children we work with within our STEAM education projects. And this was, let's say, in primary school, a government school within the city. We had so much fun with these babies. So, yes, thank you for joining us, our listeners. If you're joining us from LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, please drop a comment. Tell us where you're joining us from. Tell us where you woke up early, especially those who are joining us from the US. It's late night, and what more you'd like to learn from our podcast. It's a very exciting season where we're looking at getting into the next phase of our training programs. We focus so much on STEAM education, and it's where we're looking at the level of unemployment is super high. It doesn't matter which part of the world you are in. And we have our youth who have so much potential, our gold mine, as I call them, our diamonds in Botswana and the rest of Africa. If the unemployment rate has gone up to 67%, that's alarming. And they have so much potential. So join us. Let's have a conversation. Let's look into what is missing. How can we encourage them to create jobs and still have a great impact within our society? So, I've been working with several organizations, and one of the ones that we do a lot of STEAM education projects is Destination Imagination. And we focus on training from children, as you can see, the little babies there, up to graduates. We train university students, and we also train educators. And it's that aspect of looking at where's the missing link. A lot of governments within the continent of Africa spend their biggest budgets in education, and yet we seem to be going around in circles. So it's about time we look at it in a different way. Could it be how we're training? Is it what we train? Is there something different that exciting the learners? I think you've all heard it by now that a lot of kids are in class with us teaching them for skills that may not exist in the next 3 to 5 years. And that is quite alarming. So, this is where, as we package how we train within STEAM education, which for listeners who don't understand what STEAM is, that is science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths, we're looking at within training of those skills, how can we be very well positioned within 21st century skills and much more. Soft skills. It's one thing to be very good at coding, robotics, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, to get into drones technology, name it. But then, do you have emotional intelligence? Do you understand adaptability, creativity, communication, curiosity, and collaboration? That is so critical. Problem solving. We're looking at, think when you look at this level of a lot of you that are unemployed, if we can train them to package themselves nicely and create jobs, we could create a better world. So within this podcast, we're diving deep into encouraging them. In your neighborhood, there are children there that could make use of your skills. We all have something to give. You don't necessarily need to be a techie person. You don't need to have been trained as a teacher. You just need to have a passion for community. That is critical. And of course, a love for children. So we're working on how can we ignite the future and have more STEAM innovators. It takes a bold vision. We transform education through hands-on innovation and future-ready skills. So we use the STEAM education philosophy or methodology of it has to be very practical, experiential learning, which kids adapt to and love. It has to be extremely learner-centered. As you can see, if you're looking at the screen, these children are doing. So we give them robots in a little box and they assemble them and code and program them. Kids wants to be involved. And then, of course, you bring in the aspect of collaboration when you get it to be project-based learning. So they work in groups of 5, sometimes 7. As you know it within the continent, we have big numbers. And this ignites that passion for them to want to create, to want to do, to work together. So, in this aspect, they obviously make friends, they obviously have disputes, but in the end, they collaborate, they create together. So, the high engagement, we design it makes them get very involved, which this has inspired not just children, but parents and educators across the globe. Then we're looking at the global movement that you can create within that. So you'll be able to join a community of forward thinkers, educators shaping tomorrow's world. We belong to a global community, and this is one of the things you look at. You can't do it alone. You need the community. You need to learn from others, which we're big on that. We collaborate. We get partners. We learn from others. Each person in STEAM education, I mean, each organization is doing something different. But when you partner, you learn from each other and you leverage on that relationship. So think about it. What if our children could build a better future? So we're looking at what if they can learn to be more innovative, actively creating and building rather than passively learning. Children are bored. They don't want to be on chalk and board. They want to be involved. They want to do. How about if we could be able to build future ready skills where we're preparing learners today for tomorrow's challenges with practical experiences? And of course, that's where they'll be able to fit in within the global community. Now, let's do a reality check. Today's education, it's standardized. Students taking standardized tests focused on memorization. That is not working at all. We've seen that. And then the teaching methods are designed for yesterday. It's not practical, it's what we did. Within the continent, especially, we have a lot of still the colonial curriculum. So imagine you have a curriculum that was designed 50, 60 years ago. So much has changed. It's not making sense. It's not helping our children. So we are within the process. We have a lot of shifts that are going on where people are transitioning to something more modern, something more palatable for the current child. Then we are looking at tomorrow's need. AI is replacing jobs. Automation is accelerating. So creativity, coding, and critical thinking are now very essential. So if we could ensure that the future kids get the right skills they want, then we won't worry about what about the skills or the jobs for the future. Allow me to say a hello, a big shout out. Thank you, Kumar, Shabham, Tarasha. Come and participate in International Space Science Olympiad. I'd love to come. Codemats is hosting Maiden International Space Olympiad. And where is that? Please tell us where that is. Anybody else joining us, listening, please put on the comment section if you have an upcoming event, if you're looking for a job, if you're looking for free resources. We offer a lot of free resources. Just put on the comment section and I will post there the free resources we have. If as well you'd like to be trained on STEAM education, you'd love to start a STEAM education club, please put on this comment section. I will share with you the details, the information on how you can start. We have a blueprint which is packaged. It's a plug and play. How do you start a STEAM education club? This is something that can give you an income. And the most important thing is education space is very, very fulfilling. You feel and see the impact firsthand. You watch yourself changing kids' lives, and it's so rewarding. It is so fulfilling. So please just put on the comment section and join us on that. So the 2030 wake-up call, we're looking at this artificial intelligence powering the future economy, which already you felt the wave. Engineering and robotics, where we're building tomorrow's solutions. The systems thinking, understanding complex relationships. This entrepreneurial creativity, innovating for real world impact. Now, by 2030, over 85% of jobs will require skills rooted in STEAM education. So it's no longer a nice to have skill. And you've seen so many educators advocating for we can't survive with one skill. We can't. We need more than one skill. So it's important, yes, I agree, for each one of us to ensure we're very well positioned and placed to get the skills of the future, the skills that we need, and also to look into how am I solving the future problems, the current problems, and the future. The need is there, the gap is wide, and it widens every day. But then again, there's always the question of resources. I'd want to do this and that, but I have access to those resources. And this is where we come in. We've been privileged to work with marginalized communities and the affluent communities. And one of the things we've learned to do is adapt. And that's where we always emphasize STEAM education is not about having a shiny iPad, the most sophisticated gadgets. No, we learn to recycle, reuse, and that is what we emphasize on our educators to do. Once you get the curriculum, we get the program, look at what you have within your community. The most important thing is starting. So let's look at what we have within the STEAM Innovators Academy. You build your own STEAM club. Start with proven framework and resources. So the program we've built together is what we've been doing for quite some years. We've been in education for 2 decades, and we've been very strong within STEAM education for the past 9 years. So we have a lot of tried concepts. Some didn't work, some worked, and we are happy to share with you. We create a lot of hackathons, we create a lot of boot camps, we design and customize our program as per the children and their needs. We look at the demographics. The project I would go do in Tanzania would be very different from a project I would go do in Nigeria. We first assess the needs of that community, and we also, in a very humble way, allow the educators within that environment to lead us. So this is collaboration, not saying that we have solutions to everything. No, you have, especially when you're working with educators, they know best. They know the learners they're dealing with. They know the critical issues they're facing. And that is where we start with the baseline testing. We always do a survey to find out, where am I meeting this learner? Is this a learner or a student with some basics in coding, robotics, or do I start with basics in computing? So we equip students with innovation-ready skills, practical learning that prepares for real-world challenges, where we train you on the basics that you need, the fundamental skills that you need for you to be successful in the STEAM space. Then you join a whole wide world of educator community. We connect, share, and grow with like-minded teachers. We're in so many communities, we collaborate with them, and we introduce you to those communities. You have to monetize your journey. You need to turn your passion into opportunity by setting up a STEAM club as a leader. Now, these STEAM clubs, you can start within your school, you can start within your church, you can start within your nonprofit organization. And guess what? You can also start within your corporate organization. We have parents wanting to find out, what can I do with my child? We have homeschooling, which is mushrooming all over within the wide world. And these homeschooling parents also want to get an understanding. We have some of our educators that actually just start with parents groups, where they start inviting 10 parents, they discuss best practices, they share, and then they each carry on and go start within the environment. Some of them do it from within the confines of their homes. Some of them start a tuition center. It is fun, it's fulfilling, and it is rewarding. Let me say a big shout out to Blessing Ijeoma Igoba. I'm so sorry if I butchered your name. Welcome, welcome. Marando Motari, the future we need. Exactly the future we need, Marando. We want to make sure that education and getting quality education, you're not defined by where you come from. This is where equity comes in. It doesn't matter from marginalized communities to kids from affluent families. We all need this. We need accessibility to quality education. And guess what? You don't need to be a techie. You don't. There's always that thing of, this is for software engineers, this is for tech savvy people. No, we can all do this. We can learn, we can adapt. So we have challenge kits, what we package as some of the resources. We ensure that kids can have rapid ideation, which is a very nice and easy way of teaching kids to think on their feet. So you'll get a kit that has a lot of hands-on materials. We package it with a lot of ebooks. You get free posters, you get lesson plans, you get a comprehensive guide that seamlessly helps you with the implementation of the project. You get a staff guidebook because if you're going to have staff, ultimately you need to have something like plug and play. And then you get a lot of content that just makes you enrich what you're training. My favorite from our kit with resources is what we call instant challenges. They are fun, they're exciting. These are teaser projects where you can have something that takes like 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, projects that kids do, and you get them giggling. Or if you place yourself to educate, to train educators, I train a lot of adult teachers. And sometimes you can have, you walk into a room and you need something to break the ice. People are looking at you like you're just another educator bringing in something else. Until they get to know you, you break the ice, you make them giggle, you make them laugh, you become friends. Because what they do is fun. And once they become, you break that ice, they want to work with you. The rest becomes very easy. You have to allow them to engage. You have to allow the project to be extremely learner centered. It's about them. Then we have creative thinking modules. These are structured activities that help develop innovation mindset. Then, of course, we have global collaboration projects. We have a program with Destination Imagination that children go to US every year in May for competitions. Then you can see like Kumar here inviting us for the Science Olympiad. There are so many competitions out there that you need to allow your children to be part of those communities. And guess what? You can also create one. We've created our own competitions several times in Botswana. We actually have one that we always do annually. We have projects like what we call the one day boot camp, where we go to schools and arrange a boot camp just for a day. 8 to 5, kids will be in classes. They'll also do team building activities in the afternoon. We make it fun, we serve sumptuous meals, and we get them to really engage and immerse themselves into 21st century skills. And that's a seed you plant. From there, the child goes home thinking about what exactly was that I learned? How can I continue with this? So we offer them resources that learning can continue in our absence within the confines of their environment, within their homes. Hello, Mirjan. Good afternoon from Belgrade, Serbia. That's so far away. You can ask me far from where. Thank you so much, our LinkedIn community and those joining us from Facebook and LinkedIn. Please put your questions there. Mirando, I see your email. Yes, let's talk business. Let's uplift the lives. Let's build the Africa we want. Let's support communities. This, if you can look at my screen, this is one of our success stories, the girl who is holding the banner. Her name is Sophia. We started with Sophia almost 7 years ago as a student who did not think she was interested in anything tech. We struggle with girls, where girls always tend to think tech is for boys. So Sophia came, we were doing a project. We usually do a lot of funded project. This was a European Union funded project. So we were working with senior schools and junior schools. That is our high schools, the age of from 12 years and above. And she just came escorting one of her friends. And she found others having fun, but she still went like, robotics, that's for boys. Do I really want to do this? So she just came because she was trying out, checking out because her friend is there. Guess what? Sophia is one of our greatest success stories. She's now a first year. She actually came and worked with us for 4 years. She started with volunteerism when she was still going to school, did her Form 5. The first time she did it, she actually didn't pass with flying colors, which that's when I went like, why do we judge our kids basing it on exams? Because I know her to be a very intelligent girl, but she didn't pass her exam. So she had to resit for a few papers. Then she passed extremely well. And now she's pursuing software engineering in one of our best universities in the country. And on top of that, she has been our best trainer. She trains the after school program for us. And we also invite her when we're doing workshops with adults. She's only 21, but she's amazing, brilliant, knows how to engage with children, and knows exactly what she wants from life. So the packaging of soft skills with technical skills makes a huge difference. Now, let's look at the real world skills and the real impact we can create. Think like engineers. This is what I call design thinking 101. It's a skill that every child needs. Problem solving with purpose. That's one of the fundamentals that we need. Entrepreneurs are problem solvers. We need more children getting into entrepreneurship. So we need more problem solvers. And it starts from humble beginnings where we start introducing the concept to them and show them what exactly that means. Present like leaders, communication that inspires. We need better communicators. Certainly, you've seen it in your environments where you have people who are very skilled, they have their masters, their PhDs, but they can't communicate. They don't know how to express themselves. This is a very important skill that we need kids to understand and to start learning when they're still young. Prototype solutions, building answers to real world problems. From the grassroots, this is one of the questions. Like, for instance, if I'm training in South Africa, let's say I'm in KwaZulu Natal, I do a lot of training in Cape Town. I allow the community within Cape Town to tell me what are the problems existing within your community. Can we create a challenge, a concept, a project, basing it on the problem that you are experiencing within your community? Different communities have different problems. Cape Town, we have a water shortage, we have pollution, we have crime, and we have a housing problem. Right now in Botswana, a few months ago, we experienced floods for the first time. So guess what we did when we asked students what problems can we solve within a particular community right within Botswana, and they said, how can we solve this flooding issue? So we created a hackathon. How can we use AI to predict climate action, right? And we resonate deeper if you tell us to solve a problem for us to come up with a solution for a problem that is existing within our community. This is what is giving us sleepless nights. So let's not look at what is happening in New York and try to copy paste that to a different environment where that is not the need. That's not the problem. And different age groups have different problems. This is something we do with even the 7-year-olds. The 7-year-olds, when you ask them, what problems are you facing? To them, it's always, I don't like my homework. I don't like doing chores. So, what solutions can we create for that? You don't want to do chores? It's part of discipline. Can you come up with a program? Can you come up with a project? Can you manage your time better? Right? I don't like eating vegetables. You talk to teenagers, of course, they're facing teenage pregnancy, they're facing this abuse, this bullying. They have their own set of problems, this crime rate that's going up. They also getting to know the world of money. I need money for my movie time and stuff like that. How do we solve that problem? University students, they have their own set. Adults, especially teachers, they have their own set. So we always have that particular project packaged. There will always be strict fundamentals and rules that we have to follow so that we achieved a particular goal that we want to. But packaging it and ensuring that soft skills, those are still fundamental skills that they need to get. That is so important. This is what happens when we run a podcast in our homes on a Sunday. Somebody is at the gate, another person is talking. My apologies. And that gives me a minute to say hello. Mathematician, woman, and IT expert with 20 plus years of experience. Tech is not just for boys. Thank you, Mirijan. Tell them, shout it from the mountaintop. It is not just for boys. I'm a woman in tech. Millicent Budia. Hey, Millicent, so good to see you. Looking forward to supporting my community with this. I love the fact that it embraces equality and inclusivity. Millicent is actually part of our first cohort. She has paid for the program and she's starting to train. Thank you, Millicent, and we are so much looking forward. Especially, Millicent is working in a community that I actually did my form for there. Millicent, I was at Sengera High School. So this is very close home, and you're going to get a lot of people supporting you. And my dogs are saying hello at the same time. Yes, yes, true, Mirjan. Every community has its own problems, but same set of source problems, issues exist globally. Very, very true. In the end, we all need to put food on the table. So it's how we navigate those problems and make sure we can build a better world. So, collaborate across cultures. It is so critical for our kids to know it's a big world, and there are different types of people, and you need to learn how to communicate and work with them. So, the empowerment through education. My students now believe they can be innovators. I'm very proud of the work that we've done with both private schools. These are actually children from Pakalani Primary School, one of the schools we've been doing our after school program for the past close to 5 years now. Very successful. The other picture, I never got a Thank you, our listeners, and welcome to Africa, where we have serious internet issues. I just came back to say thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. We'll be running this podcast every Sunday morning as we pass on the information and educate all the interested parties who'd like to join our training. We're going to have a series of every quarter, there'll be a training program. Thank you, our listeners. Please join us. And welcome to. Do join us. There's a lot to learn, and I'll be dropping in the enrollment forms and more information on what the course will entail. Thank you and have a super Sunday. Remember, we have this happiness tribe at 4 p.m. South African time. Thank you and goodbye. Let's keep spreading our wings. Let's keep on creating a better world. Goodbye.